righty. Episode, what is this, 4 now? 4 weeks down. 1 month we've been doing it. Many, many more to go, hopefully. Episode 4, Angry Bears Fan Podcast, week 13. After a very disappointing loss to the New York Football Jets, Mike White picked us apart. No Justin Fields. It was just nothing really to hang your hat on. At one point, I really didn't even want to watch the game. I just, out of pride and for the Bears, that I have to watch it. But
well, you and I were talking before the game. We were texting back and forth a little bit, and I told you that I had started Mike White and Garrett Wilson in my daily fantasy. Well. And I told you, you're like, oh, Mike White only had one good game last year. And I was like, it doesn't matter, dude. It's against the Bears defense. And yeah, it worked out really well. Mike White, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Garrett Wilson, a couple of touchdowns. This Bears defense just keeps getting worse and worse, and it doesn't help with the injuries, man.
Yeah, just they're stacking up. Eddie Jackson's gone. Mooney's gone. Eddie Jackson dropped 2 picks in that game before he got hurt. But I don't know. It's just like I said the last week, it's just like somebody's hit the switch on the tank of the season, and it's hard to watch. Like, the Bears have been bad before, but it was really just more of like a super inept offense where we just could never do anything. And this is just like, we're like helpless out there. It feels like I'm watching a college game when I'm watching the Bears play on defense, where it's just like they just march it up and down. Everybody just marches it up and down the field. Like, we have no pass rush. Our corners can't guard anyone. Like, we're just out. They're just all just standing out there while fucking Mike White has a career day.
Not quite a career day, because last year he threw for the first start he threw for like 500 yards.
Oh my! It just meant just like carved us up.
Oh yeah, and
I know Zach Wilson was fucking punching himself like, why can't I fucking get the start against the fucking Bears so I can look good? Like,
well, it's going to be a continuous thing, man, because, taking a look at
that's like the worst team we could play.
Taking a look at the schedule ahead, man, we got Green Bay coming up on Sunday that we go on a bye.
Maybe with Jordan Love, though, looking like Jordan Love probably be playing that game.
No, Aaron Rodgers already said he's playing. He was on Pat McAfee today, actually.
Yeah, I saw. So I didn't watch it yet. I plan on watching it, but yeah, I thought all I saw was he said that he would be open to sitting out, but he's not in charge anymore. They don't give a fuck what Aaron Rodgers thinks in Green Bay anymore. Like, he's had a losing season. They don't care about Aaron Rodgers anymore.
He'll play. Even if he doesn't, I just don't.
I think Jordan Love will at least play for 2 quarters of that game. I don't see Aaron Rodgers. Their season's over, right? They would have to.
Mathematically, they have a 2% chance of going to the playoffs.
Which means that like somebody has to lose like all their
technically
names.
They're not mathematically eliminated, but I mean, when you're paying a quarterback $50 million a year, I don't think you want him to sit out even if you are mathematically eliminated. I don't know.
I think we're going to have a situation where he's about to get traded. That's why I think they might sit him out. Jordan Love didn't look too bad when he came in that game.
Dude, he threw a slant and Christian Watson took it to the house.
I'm not talking about I'm not just talking about the touchdown pass. I watched the rest of the game. He looked. I didn't say I don't think he's like fucking the MVP. I just saying he looks like he's ready to go. Last year he didn't look ready to go. This year he looked ready to go. It might have been cleanup time. I don't know, but he didn't look lost out there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that the Bears, the defense, just every level is lost on every level, dude.
Think Fields plays?
No,
you don't think so?
No shot.
I think if Love plays, we should play him. If not,
if you're okay, so as a fan, do I want him to play? Yes, but if I'm looking at it in like an organizational standpoint, I want to. Dude, that offensive line is so bad. It's so bad. And the wide receivers get no separation whatsoever. I don't want to put Justin at risk. The season's already over.
Well, I just feel like then you just want him to be done for the rest of the year then.
Yeah, I just want him to sit, man.
I don't want that. I really
go on vacation.
I want them to put him out there and to say no more running unless you have to.
But that's not the way he plays. And that's
well, I'm just saying. Okay, I'm just saying. Well, then don't call. Then what I'm saying is like that's what we got to do, because I think there's still work to be had in the passing game, where like we didn't get.
I agree.
Just finding stride and
I agree, but
I just feel like you get hurt in preseason or in off season. Like
it's horrible. But the wide receiver, especially now with Darnell Mooney being out, like
I was fine with that. We had one too many anyway.
Got nothing. You've got nobody to throw the ball to. Nobody. There was a play that they've been talking about all week. A couple plays actually, where Trevor Siemian had a beautiful pocket with 3 wide receivers out in the field. Not a single one of them had an inch of separation on their.
I agree, but I mean, in reality, I mean, that could be a problem next year as well. As much as we're, you know what I mean, trying to be hopeful that we're going to have some better wide receivers next year. In reality, we might have the same guys and a possible free agent and one rookie, like who we think might be good. So it's like the problem is like these guys aren't open. If you're watching these games, you throw these guys open, you throw it to them and they make a fucking play. Like that's what I'm saying. He needs to be out there and throwing to these guys and getting these reps, and Getsy to just be like, all right, we're not calling any more QB powers. Even in the goal, like we don't even need to see him in the red zone. Our season's over. We don't even need to fucking win. There's no reason Justin Fields should be running any kind of halfback dive or quarterback dive or draw or anything. But especially for quarterback, you got to be out there. Like, and I think just roll them out there next year in hopes that our O-line will be better. I mean, our O-line might not be better. It might be the same fucking guys with, like I said, one or two guys patched in. I mean, we got to get DNs, corners, everything. Like in reality,
I can guarantee you that maybe 2 of those offensive linemen are there next year.
No, I'm not saying that there will be that same 5. I'm just saying it might just be 3 other guys who suck too. Like or like we thought were going to be good and aren't good. I thought Riley Reiff was going to be a lot better. Nah. I mean, he's adequate, but Riley Reiff throughout his career has played loads better than he's played on the Bears, even though he's been fine.
He was average at best.
Yeah. I just think he plays worse than the Bears. I think it's all those guys. I don't know if we need to do a O-line coach or what, but it
could be. It could be a number of those things.
The Bengals went out and spent $70 million on offensive linemen for Joe Burrow, and he still gets sacked like crazy. Like that could happen to us, where we get whoever the best tackle is in free agency, draft a guard, and get another guy, and like on paper our O-line should be better, and they're still getting their ass kicked. So I just want to see Justin play. I don't want to see him just sitting there when he's healthy. If he is really hurt and he can't go, then fine. But I don't want him to not be playing in the name of like health. It's like what, every year then when we're mathematically eliminated, we're just going to take Justin Fields out? Or
I mean, we were just talking about the same thing with Aaron Rodgers, weren't we?
Well, that was because they got a young guy on the horizon who they need to see, who's almost coming up on his 5th-year option. They have to know if he can play.
Yeah, but if you don't need the reps, why would you? You know what I'm saying?
I think Justin Fields needs the reps, and I think Jordan Love needs them.
I don't think he does.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers needs them, and that's why I think Aaron Rodgers' thing is different, is because like he don't need the reps. He don't need the reps. They don't need him to get hurt because they'll owe him all that money. Like if Justin Fields gets hurt, I mean he was bound to possibly get hurt anyway, and we don't really owe him any money. Aaron Rodgers,
but you're also risking the future of your entire franchise.
But aren't we risking the future if he never gets? Yeah, but I'm not saying
season is over.
I'm not saying I want him to go out there to win. I'm saying that he needs. Oh, I'm not risking.
Then why have him out there?
So
why risk it? Risk it?
Practice reps aren't the same as in-game reps against guys who are live games where guys are coming at you.
I get that, but at the same time, why risk getting him hurt even more? If his shoulder is a little bit sore, if his legs are a little bit sore.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know.
Why run the risk? I don't want to run the risk, because here's the thing: if Justin Fields gets hurt, catastrophic injury, you just set yourself back 2 years at least. Because
but if he doesn't develop properly, we wasted 5. So that's where my head is. Like I agree, if he gets hurt, but he could get into a car accident on the way home from practice tonight.
That's not a fair comparison, because that's so few and far between.
Well, I'm just saying, like, to be safe.
Athletes, Henry Ruggs not included, have gotten into a car accident. You know what I'm saying?
Sure they are. Well, I'm not like catastrophe. I'm just saying like anything can happen. Or he could get hurt in practice. Players get hurt in practice all the time.
Yeah,
get hurt in the weight room all the time. Like
just look at Siemian. He hurt his oblique in warm-up.
That's what I mean. Like I'm not
played.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If he can go and it's not a knee that could get re-injured or something that's easily re-aggravated, then I think he should be out there. I think any player should be out there if they can go. And just because our season's over doesn't mean there's not good reps for them to go out, especially on a losing team. We need them to get better. How do you get better? You got to go play. Like you can't get,
I get it,
especially for the
but
quarterback.
like I said,
And I think they need to give him decisive things where, like, even I kind of feel what you're saying. To be like, Justin, we're going to take you out of the game if you take hits. You take one hit, we're taking you out of the game. And maybe even tell them that you take too many sacks, you're going out of the game. So 1, 2, 3, throw your fucking pass, throw these balls away, and tell them. And like I said, Getsy's calling the plays. Justin Fields is a fucking basically a rookie. He ain't not picking none of them plays. Stop calling quarterback run plays for the rest of the season. It's over. You showed us you can do that. We don't need it. Like you said, we're not trying to win. We don't need to see any runs. But I do think he needs to go out there. There, like I said, I think it was good to see Simeon out there because I think Simeon showed him there's passes out there to be made. And he's
but I would love to see Justin Fields throw the ball 30, 35 times
that's what
a
I mean.
game.
Yeah.
I would. But again, who the fuck is he throwing the football to? Chase Claypool so far, I don't know. I hope.
Just saying, like, possibly the same guys he's going to be throwing to next year. Like, there's not no crazy free agent we can get. That for sure we're going to have, like, Kenny Golladay.
I hope and pray that this trade works out for the Bears with this Chase Claypool, because after I think because we got the number 2 overall pick right now, so realistically it's like 34. One of the first round picks, Miami's first round pick, is gone. Their second one, their later one, I don't know why it had. So I
Stephen Ross, he got in trouble for the tampering shit with Tom Brady and Brian Flores, right?
Go. Yeah, there you go. So technically, that second round pick is like literally the number 1 pick in the second round of the draft right now. You pretty much gave up a first round pick for Chase Claypool. It has to turn out well. It has to turn out good because that's Chase Claypool.
Well, like I said, I'm not worried about Claypool. Again, that's why I think another reason why I think Justin Fields need to be out there, because playing quarterback and playing wide receiver is a chemistry thing as well. Some guys play better with other guys. You need to go out there. You need to know you can't throw deep balls to him if you're not throwing out there when he's out there running and getting bumped. And again, like I said, it's not just this, I want to win every game. There's reason, like, these guys need to be out there together, throwing balls to each other. And you can't really just do that in practice. My worry is we don't do shit. We get, like I said, we get Kenny Golladay, fucking some washed up O-lineman nobody else wanted who used to be good, and we're running it back, and some rookies who have potential to be good. And Justin Fields sat out 6 games because we were scared he was going to get hurt.
I'm like 100% sure that if something like that were to happen, Ryan Poles would feel the wrath of the entire Chicago Bears fan base if he allowed this to, run back next year, because it's got.
Well, I agree, but what I'm saying is, like, once the wrath or whatever, but we've been here and it has happened before, and Justin is that's where you learn. I feel like he was getting better on the field, and to sit out when you're healthy, just, I don't, like I said, I don't want to baby a guy. Like, these guys got to play. Like, they're going to get hurt. The rest of his career is going to be him using the ability to protect himself. Like, that's a skill he has to. The coaching staff and Justin Fields all have to get together, and it can't be just as, oh well, you're just not going to play then. Like, Tom Brady plays in blowouts. You know what I mean? Like,
I'll tell you who's got better. How about that Jack Sanborn?
Oh man, that guy, he is playing. I told you that was the first episode we did. I told you the only good thing that came from the Roquan trade was to get to see him play. I mean, I know he gets a lot of garbage tackles, but he's just all over the place. Like,
all over the field. He has a motor that doesn't stop.
And I don't know, like I said, hopefully that something continues.
But see, here's the thing. It's very easy to rack up tackles as a Mike linebacker
on the Bears.
When the running back is getting through your first line of defense untouched.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
the only bright light, because it just shows that if we had some D-line, he could really make some good plays. He's got good instinct, good nose for the ball. If we had some guys that were freeing him up, where he'd be getting a lot of tackles in the backfield instead of 7 yards down the field. But I do like Jack Sanborn. I thought Jalen Johnson, even though we got carved up, I thought he looked better. He was all over his guy. Mike White was just doing what we were talking about, hitting guys who had guys on them.
Mike White, I'll tell you what, though. I'll tell you what. Realistically, I like him for the Jets. I think he should be their starter going forward.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Jet or a Giant next year. And I think Zach Wilson will be on like the Steelers or something. My guess.
I don't.
Maybe the Vikings.
I don't know about all that, man.
If I had to bet, Aaron Rodgers is going to be on Pittsburgh, New York.
What about New Orleans?
Maybe New Orleans. Yeah, I was talking about that with somebody too. Yeah, New Orleans, one of them. Maybe New England, but I don't think New England would ever trade a first for Aaron Rodgers. So I think they'll be out of it. But yeah, New Orleans.
But
I think.
How interesting would that be, though?
I think it would be too. I think, and I know they always both have wanted to play with each other. So I don't know. Maybe he goes out on a limb. I mean, if New England has another bad season, Aaron Rodgers and Bill Belichick are going to be in the same place where 3 years ago they were fucking gods and now they're nobody. Like the fucking fan base hate them. So Bill Belichick is about to fall from grace here soon with, again, him picking Mac Jones when the Bears traded up to get Justin Fields. Like, why don't you go do that? Like, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones isn't bad. He's not
just
bad.
Not good. He reminds me a great comparison is Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's just another Jimmy Garoppolo who's going to have a long.
I see him more of a Trent Dilfer type. He's a game manager.
I think that's what Jimmy Garoppolo is. I think that's
he's a game manager. Yeah. He can make all the throws.
If you have a good team, he'll be fine. Yeah, he'll be just fine. I don't think he's bad. I think
that's a lot of quarterbacks in the league, though. I don't think it's
I don't think he's bad. I'm just saying but the New England doesn't have the roster to where their quarterback can't be like average.
They got no wide receivers either, man. I'm trying to think of who's their number one. Jacoby Myers,
they might be worse than us. Shit. Jacoby Myers, they got like Nelson Aguilar,
Hunter Henry. Yeah, they got a better tight end than us.
They got Hunter Henry and John Smith.
If he ever stayed healthy, like healthy, Hunter Henry was a beast.
Yeah,
but
I thought he was going to do better in New England.
Yeah, I thought so too. But we got Green Bay. It's Packer week, baby.
Yeah. So I said, if Jordan Love plays, I hope Justin Fields plays. But if Aaron Rodgers plays, I don't care.
Either way, I mean, you break down this game, right? Green Bay's strength on offense. I mean, Chicago's defense, everything is their weakness. Passing, running, everything else. You know what I'm saying?
But whatever they want to do.
They have two tanks, man. AJ Dillon, Aaron Jones. Those guys are monsters. Aaron Jones, to me, is one of the most underrated running backs in the league. He can do it all. I think that if Green Bay wants to win this game in Chicago, they're going to win anyway. But if they really want to stick it to them, they'll stick with the run. They'll run for over 250 yards, and they'll just completely.
That's why I think they'll play Jordan Love too, because it's the Bears. It's going to be a sweet, easy game for him to go out there and get his confidence up.
All he has to do is run the ball.
Yeah,
that's all they have to do is run the ball. And here's the thing: it wouldn't be so bad if we got some takeaways every now and then. We don't get any fucking takeaways.
Well, because we don't get any pass rush. You can't get a takeaway if you don't get a pass rush. It's just...
at the beginning of the season, I saw a lot of peanut punches, trying to get that ball out. I don't see that so much anymore. I didn't
realize how much I was going to miss Robert Quinn, but he is missed. He was the only one who was getting there, or at least forcing a double team so some of these other guys could get there. But there now, it's just no hope. Like I said, occasionally Justin Jones will flash, but he's just an interior lineman. He really can't do much, especially because if he's the only one getting off, they just double team him.
Yeah, it's not like, Aaron Donald's come around all that often. I don't even think Jalen Carter is going to be Aaron Donald.
I just think he's a disruptor. I don't think anybody's Aaron Donald. I just think Jalen Carter is like, you got to double him. So if you get another good guy, then you'll be all right.
Well, the good thing about, this game is that Green Bay's defense is susceptible to big plays. Ever since they lost Rashawn Gary, that pass rush hasn't been the same. Braxton Jones has shown much improvement week after week after week after week. I think if we can find a franchise left tackle, if we move him over to right, it'll solidify the tackle position, on that line. But I don't know if it's just me. Everybody talks about the Chicago Bears running game, I haven't seen it. I'll tell you what, though, I really like that Evans kid that they brought up from the
he looked a lot better.
Squad. He was very shifty. I like him. I like that move over Travis
Ebner was like too. I thought the run game was good.
Low, man. And I really like David Montgomery. If they can bring David Montgomery back on like a a team friendly deal, I'm all for it. But if he's gonna want 9, 10, 11 million a year, it's just not happening.
I mean, he's not
I
getting that
think
from
if you
nobody.
sign him
So
6.5, 7, I'm okay with that. Sign him to a 3-year, $24 million deal. I'm perfectly okay with that. Because I think you have to keep some pieces around Justin, and David Montgomery is just one of those guys in the locker room that makes everybody better. The way he plays on the field, he's not giving up. Even when the team could be losing 49-0, and David Montgomery will get a handoff. And
yeah,
he
I mean, I like
fight
David Montgomery
every fucking inch that he can.
I just
And
think we gotta
those are
get
the
somebody
guys.
a little
Well,
more shifty.
those I know, but those are the kind of guys you need in your locker room.
Yeah. I mean, I know that, but you could be all hard
You
enough
can
if you want.
you can have a 2 running back system.
Yeah,
Why not?
I do think we need to get somebody else just because somebody
Absolutely.
who's more
You need more of
who's
a receiving
faster.
back.
Yeah,
You
somebody
need
who
more of
could
a
get out.
receiving back,
Yeah.
more of an elusive back, and I get that. But also keep David Montgomery. You could draft a shifty running back in the draft in the
I
fourth
wonder
round.
if they're going to even be a market for Montgomery. Anybody really even?
Oh, I'm sure there will. Baltimore. He'd be perfect in Baltimore. Perfect.
I'd be mad if they had fucking Roquan and David Montgomery.
Well, that's the thing, is that he would fit that offensive scheme perfectly, because their running backs don't catch the ball out of the backfield all that much, and they're a power run team. I mean, that's David Montgomery's style.
Yeah.
He'd be their Mark Ingram, but have the stamina of
the playoff game.
Yeah, like he would be a beast there. I'm telling you. And that's, I mean, maybe some team like Buffalo. Buffalo's another one, because they don't have that running back that on first and goal from inside the 5 that you can hand it to. They got small shifty backs. Devin Singletary. I can't even remember who the other guy is. Isaiah McKenzie, but he's a wideout. They use him more of like a Tyreek Hill role, where they kind of shift him all over the place. But it's been, this game coming up, we're going to know a lot more about the Bears going forward. We'll see how Luke Getsy calls this game. I'm more interested in how, I'm not going to say body language per se, but mostly their body language. See how, it's a big moment for them.
Yeah, it's weird. And and after this, we're just playing like so we got the Vikings, Eagles.
We got the fucking Eagles, the Bills, the Lions, then the Vikings. Ugh. And Detroit's been a team all year that has been so close, and I think they're finally starting to get it. And that's going to be a dangerous team, for years to come.
I don't know. We're
Philly,
gonna kick their ass next year.
Jalen Hurts.
I am not looking forward to that game. Philly is going to put it on us. They're going to score.
They're going to drop 50 points on us.
Yes, they're going to score 50 points.
They're going to score 50 points on this defense, and it sucks. And I feel so bad for Eddie Jackson, because he was having a great year. I wanted to trade him before the trade deadline. You know that. I said it. They should have got rid of him. This Les Frank injury is nothing to, it's a big deal. It's a big injury. You're in a walking boot for 10 months at least. Damn. In a boot, yes, for 10 months. He won't see the field for over a calendar year. And that, you know what I'm saying? That's a big thing for the Bears.
That sucks for him
to be missing out.
Man, that shit for him. That's fucking like damn near your whole career is over right there.
Yeah.
What is he, like 29, 28?
And that's the thing too, is that and I have that in a factor cap later on. But Eddie Jackson may have played his last game as a Chicago Bear.
If you're saying that's 10 months, then yeah, I would. He's getting cut.
And it sucks, man, because like I said, he was having a great season.
Yeah, like I said, he dropped 2 picks.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that with Brisker and Gordon injuries, they should be back this week. I think they were full participants in practice this week, so they should be good to go. My concern for this defense, obviously, besides the fact that we need a 3-technique run stopper, 2 edge rushers, we need a lockdown corner. Like a lockdown corner. You know what I'm saying? Kyler Gordon can play a slot corner. Jalen Johnson can play the other corner. We need a lockdown corner. and now we're gonna have to replace a free safety. And Jack Sanborn will start next year.
Yeah, for
But then
sure.
who are your other two linebackers? You know what I'm saying? Now,
Some randos we
like,
pick up.
there's gonna be like 3 starters on that defense next year that are returning. That's it. There's gonna be 8 new
The
starters.
Brisker, Gordon, Sanborn.
Brisker, Gordon, Sanborn, or there's 4 then because it'll be Johnson, Brisker, Gordon, Sanborn.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson.
That's
I've been making it a point to watch Jalen Johnson, and he looked, but like I said, even though he was getting beat, I won't say beat, but like getting passes caught on him, Mike White was just making really tight window throws where it wasn't bad coverage, just no pass rushing.
And Garrett Wilson's also one hell of a wide receiver.
Yes, he was very good.
He's very good. And Elijah Moore, that's one of the targets I wanted.
That's who I wanted to bear. I wanted the
deadline.
Bears. I wanted the Bears to trade up for Olave or Garrett Wilson if they could, whatever we could have leveraged. But I guess it's best they didn't because our record's so bad. We would have had to fucking give up like a next first, and that would.
No. It would have been. But you know what though? I would have much rather have traded that second round pick. That we traded to Pittsburgh for Claypool. I would have much rather traded that pick for Elijah Moore. Just my opinion. Yeah, just my opinion. I just think here's my thing, and we talk about Claypool's size and everything else like that. My concern, and we talked about this last week, my concern is that Chase Claypool was the number 3 wide receiver on a bad Pittsburgh team, who Mike Tomlin is the coach of, one of the most well-respected coaches in the entire world. Why was he the number 3? And why did Pittsburgh give up on him so easily? Why did Mike Tomlin be like, you know what? I don't want this guy. Get him out of here.
I don't know if it was necessarily Mike Tomlin. It's just like his 5th-year option was coming up. He had a couple good years where he wasn't, or where he was the 2. I think they just think George Pickens is better than him and he's way cheaper. But I don't.
He's under contract for next year. So why not keep him next year? If you're Pittsburgh, why not keep him next year?
They probably would have, unless you got somebody's 2nd-round pick that was like a 1st-round pick. Like that's what I'm saying.
That's rough. That's way too. I mean, that's just like saying if you were the Bears, right? If you were the Bears, if you were to give up on somebody so easily, so quickly,
I don't think it's quick. What is this year? This is year 4 for him, right? What is this, year 3 or 4?
Year 3.
Yeah, I don't know if that's that quick. I don't know. NFL is
for a premium position like wide receiver.
Well, I just think they traded him for. I don't know if give up on him the word. They got a good pick from him. Maybe that was just like too good to pass up. Like,
but the 3rd wide receiver on a bad team.
Yeah, but the 3rd wide receiver is like a starter. Like he was probably getting a lot of snaps. It's just like it's not like 10, 15 years ago where it was like wide receiver 1 and 2. They probably were running. They don't have a fullback. They were probably running 3 wide receiver sets.
I don't disagree with the trade. I disagree with the amounts, that draft position, that draft pick, that high. Like I said, I would have just much rather, if you were going to give up the 34th pick in the draft, I would much rather have wanted Elijah Moore with a little bit more team control than Chase Claypool. I just think it was an overpay, and I could be wrong, but
I didn't think we were going to be this bad. So at the time, I didn't think it was overpay. I thought we were going to win. I thought we were going to beat the Jets. I thought we were going to beat the Lions and possibly the Falcons. So I was like, oh, we're going to have like the 12th pick in the 2nd round. You know what I mean? Or 12th pick in the draft. Not that bad. If I would have known that we were going to be top 5, I would have been like, hell no. But it's knowing now, like with hindsight, yes, it was overpaid. When we did it, I was like, who cares? We're not even going to be top 10 looking at how the offense was going. I'm like, even in a bad day, I think we'll be able to beat the Jets with Justin Fields just because he's going to score so many points. And they had Zach Wilson playing at the time. So I was like, oh, we're going to win a couple more games. So I'm not worried about our pick as much, especially not the 2nd-round pick. But then, yeah, now we're the number 2. So it really fucking hurts. And goes back to what I was saying earlier, where like, it really sucks too, because if Justin Fields doesn't play, it's a really waste. Like if Justin Fields doesn't play the rest of these games to go out there and throw some passes to Claypool, then it was a really waste of a pick. We could have just rolled the dice and got him for a fucking 5th in the offseason.
At least you're guaranteed the number 2 overall pick if Justin Fields doesn't play the rest of the season.
Yeah,
I don't think the Bears. I don't think the Bears win another game anyway. But
don't think they win one with him playing or not. But what I'm saying, I would just have a strict game plan, and I would tell Justin, if you take a big hit, you're not going back out there. Like seriously, like and like be like for the rest of the season, not just this game. Like we're not calling any quarterback runs, and we're gonna run some of these. You know what I mean? He's got to get these 3rd and 8s, these 3rd and 7s.
Well, to be honest, to be fair, he gets hit less when he runs outside the pocket.
Yeah,
he's really.
Well, I'm not saying never run. I'm just saying like don't take any big hits. You know what I mean? This is where like he's our franchise quarterback and he's also an adult and he's our team. Like he's our leader, like it or not. Like the young guy on the team or not, he is now our leader. Like fucking, we have to be able to trust that he's gonna fucking execute the game plan that you drew up, which is to keep him safe, and that he's gonna protect himself. Like that, I guess maybe another year will when, but like when Tom Brady's hurt and he's got his fucking knee, like they trust him to go out there, protect your fucking self, guy. Like that's what he's doing. Like I think Justin Fields needs to do a little bit of that. Again, if his shoulder's that bad and he's really hurt and he can't play, he can't throw, and us get a good look and him actually develop, and he's just out there handing the ball off, then fuck it. Then I don't want to see him out there. But if he could go and it's just a nagging little off, like his non-throwing shoulder injury, I want to see him sling the ball to Claypool.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too is now with the you got ESB, I think is probably going to be out. Dante Pettis was kind of hobbled. Darnell Mooney's out for the season. Yeah, I mean now's your time.
Now they have no choice to throw it to Velus Jones.
Velus Jones, and
yeah, exactly.
Harry. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. We got them for a reason. It's like I'm torn about it. I want to see him out there making plays. That's how you get better. Like you can't.
And well, this week I don't know if it's gonna be. I mean,
I think this week's a good week because it's rivalry and the Packers are injured too, and they're out.
Yeah, but they have Jair Alexander. He's gonna line up on Claypool all game.
Yeah, but it ain't. If they don't have Gary, who's gonna sack the shit out of Fields, that's what I'm worried about. I don't care if Justin Fields throws 100 interceptions. I really could care less if he went out there and threw a bunch of picks.
But you also don't want to put him in any bad habits either. Yeah. If you throw him out there and you say, it's all right, kid, you can throw 100 picks, nobody gives a shit. That you also don't want to.
But we don't have to say that. But I mean, he's not a fucking idiot. He already knows he could throw 50 interceptions this year. Wouldn't fucking matter. He's the starting quarterback next year. So I don't.
But like I said, you don't want to start developing bad habits.
Yeah, I don't. But again, I think this is where I said I think this is developing a good habit where we're giving him a leash to say, go out there, run the game plan, don't get hurt, don't get hit. And
that's usually easier said than done.
No, I 100% agree. And I just thought the Packers is a good game. I really think Jordan Love's going to play, even if he doesn't. It's a rivalry game. So the players around Justin Fields might be playing a little bit better. And I think the Packers are hobbled and their season is over too. So it's just a bragging game.
It's definitely over. But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is our daddy. So
like I said, I don't think he's going to play. I think if Aaron Rodgers plays, then sit him, fuck it. But I think if Jordan Love plays, I think we play Fields to show them that like our new guy is better than your fucking new guy.
I would agree with that, but I still think Aaron Rodgers plays.
But the Bears, not much to talk about. It's a pretty down week, and then not much to look forward to moving forward. There's nobody, like I said, hopefully Sanborn has a good game. But I saw earlier today that the Bulls like secretly extended Billy Donovan in the offseason and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
That was weird. They're like, oh, after their playoff run, I'm like, they got gentlemen sweep by an injured team.
I just find it very ironic and very convenient that news came out one day after the announcement that Jose Abreu was signing a 3-year, $60 million deal in Houston. Same owner, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he was trying to lessen the blow, like, oh, hey, we may have lost an all-time great in Jose Abreu, but we extended
Is he an all-time great? What's his stats like?
Jose Abreu?
Yeah.
I think he's got over 300 dingers, over 300 average. I mean, he's
Why didn't he want to stay?
Huh?
I don't follow the gossip anymore, but I saw him say that they offered him a good amount of money. And he didn't
well, he's 36, right? But they've got 100 first basemen on that roster. That roster is so overloaded at first base, it's not even funny. It's fucking disgusting, if you ask me.
You had first baseman playing left field and right field, corner outfield the entire season last year, plus Jose Abreu. Yasmani Grandal was a waste of fucking money. And I swear to God, I promise you, if the White Sox don't spend another penny this year after I think the one major signing they've done so far is Mike Clevenger. And he even had a 4.4 something ERA last year and got fucking wrecked in the playoffs. Like, if you are going to sit there and tell me that the most money you were going to spend in the last few years was on fucking Yasmani Grandal and his sub 200 fucking batting average, my lid is going to explode as a White Sox fan. I can't fucking stand it, especially with all the big name players that are out there. You need a left-handed bat. You thought Grandal was going to be that left-handed bat, and he fucking sucks. You need a left-handed corner outfielder. Go fucking get one. God, it just pisses me off.
Yeah, I hated he went to the Astros.
Rick Hahn's fucking incompetent. Jerry Reinsdorf's a fucking idiot too.
Maybe they'll pull off this KD trade. I think the Bulls get somebody.
I mean, AK needs to save his job because he got fucking fleeced on the Vujacic deal. 2 firsts and Wendell Carter. Wendell Carter's playing like a fucking superstar.
And then one of those first was Franz, right? Was what? Franz Wagner.
Yeah.
One of the first they drafted.
The first round pick was Franz Wagner. And then you got fucking Lauri Markkanen.
He'd be so good on the Bulls right now, Franz Wagner, if they had him. He fit perfectly. He's like exactly
you got Lauri Markkanen over in Utah dropping fucking 30 points a night, shooting 40% from 3. Like
Lauri, I don't know so much because he's just like a weird tweener player. On Utah, this is more like they're just doing whatever the fuck they want. Like, where does Lauri fit in on the Bulls? He doesn't really play defense. He's not a very good rebounder.
My biggest thing is that we're talking about giving up on players early, right? Because everybody's talking about Patrick Williams and just get him out of here. You know, he's not.
But Lauri got what? 5 seasons? 4 seasons? He got a while.
No, it wasn't. They got rid of Lauri after like the second year in the league.
No, it was not his second year.
He was 21 years old. They drafted him when he was 19. They got rid of him after his second year in the league.
I'm gonna look this up because I feel like.
And then what? Because he went to Cleveland, and then then Wendell Carter they gave up on after I think 2 years or whatever as part of the Nikola Vujacic trade.
No, he was on the Bulls for 4 seasons: 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. He played 51 games in 2020, so he didn't get traded or anything.
Okay, so even 4 years.
That's not early. That's just like his contract, and he wasn't that good.
But he was 23.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, he had some potential, but I'm not I wouldn't. I guess I am a Bulls fan. I just like the Kings better, but he was not playing very well. Like, he showed flashes, but it wasn't like he was this guy you had to have. Like,
but he also had
it sucks now. Like you're saying, hindsight.
He had the wrong coach, and it's all about
that could be true.
He had the wrong dude.
I believe that. I believe that. But what I'm saying is, like, they had Vooch. It's like they couldn't. You can't have Vooch and Lauri.
Who was their coach in 2017? Was it Fred Hoiberg or was it fucking?
Yeah.
And then it went from Fred Hoiberg.
It was Hoiberg in 17, right?
Yeah, and then to fat fuck Jim Boylan.
Yeah.
The fucking bald fat face fuck. Yeah, that guy. He completely ruins Wendell Carter's career as well as Lauri Markkanen's career. He was a horrible talent.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But
yeah, so like I said, I don't know. Like I said, I think they gave Lauri his fair shot, and I watch a lot of Bulls games, and I don't really ever remember like, oh, they got to keep this kid. He had a great skill set. He also kept getting hurt too. He was hurt all 4 of those years. The most games he played was 68, which isn't bad for a rookie. But after that, he never played more than 52 was the most. So he's hurt almost half the year every year.
Well, all I'm saying is all this talk about the Bulls need to get rid of Patrick Williams because he's not the player that, we all thought when we drafted him. The kid is 21 years old.
I'd say get rid of him if you could if it's a package to get you somebody who can play now. The Bulls aren't a future team. They're trying to compete right now. Like, what's Patrick Williams being good in 4 years going to do for the Bulls? DeRozan will be old. They'll just be good Pat Will on the team by himself.
If you're going to trade, that's so tough because if you're going to trade anybody on that roster, with as hard as it would be and as shitty as for me as this is going to be for me to say, I think you trade Zach LaVine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't like. I think Zach LaVine as well. I don't think he's doing much. But I don't. Again, I don't. Do people even want Pat Will? I was reading a report that last year the Pistons offered Jeremiah Grant for Pat Will, basically straight up, in like a second or some shit, and the Bulls declined that. That is crazy. Jeremiah Grant would fit in perfectly on the Bulls, and he's a proven player who's like 18 and 7 and 5, like who can shoot threes. Like Pat Will just looks like a fucking football player who plays basketball. So everybody's like, oh, he's fucking the next LeBron or Kawhi because he's got broad shoulders and long arms. Like, basketball's so finesse. And I was having this conversation with somebody else about the kids on Golden State. And it's like, who develops late in the NBA who's actually good? Like 5%, 2% of the players. Like all the superstars, all the best superstars, they were fucking good as soon as they stepped on the floor. And when they were rookies, they were all good. Like, maybe their second year, but you saw it in their first year. They were still averaging 20 points a game. Like, there's like maybe 2% of the superstars in the NBA. Like, what, Siakam? Like, is he like? That's the only person I can ever bring to my mind who like wasn't. Yeah, and was he ever like? He only had one good season. I wouldn't even say him. He had a couple also.
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, he was the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, but he didn't come in.
He didn't come in, but what I'm saying is, but he's not a superstar now. He's just he's a fucking 16 and 9 guy. Like, I'm just saying, like, none of the Jason Tatum, Ja Morant, fucking. You could go back even fucking Zach LaVine. He's not a superstar, but you saw what he was going to be. Who he could shoot threes and he was going to dunk. He's not a super. You saw that when he was a rookie. You knew that was going to be what he was going to be. Like Pat Williams, like I understand he's working hard and I do see improvement. He is getting play. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be in the NBA. I'm just saying like he don't got it. Like, so he's not going to be a superstar. Like there's very few late budding superstars like Giannis. And I think Giannis is more, I guess this kind of falls on the Pat Will where like he hadn't grown into his body yet. But Pat Will is definitely more into his body than Giannis was when he was young. Like Giannis was a stick. Pat Will, people love him so much because he looks like a fucking football player and he on a basketball court.
I'd say give him a little bit of time.
I'm not saying send him for a pick. I'm saying like the Jeremiah Grant thing's a perfect example. I would have traded him for him. He plays your position. He does what we're hoping you're going to do, but he does it already. Why the fuck? Like, why not get him? Like, I understand what Pat Will's going to do, but the Bulls need to win right now. Can't be worried about 4 years from now when your team is a playoff contender. It'd be different if, like, the Kings can wear. Like, if the Kings were in this situation, I wouldn't say trade our young player for Jeremiah Grant. But the Bulls aren't. I'm assuming, like, in their meetings, they're talking about how are we going to beat the Bucks, not.
That's the thing is that they beat the Bucks and Celtics. They beat the 2 top teams in the Eastern Conference and then lost to fucking
the Thunder. I think I lost $100 in that game. It was depressing.
Yeah. It was bad. They were
it's a bad week for Chicago sports. We lost to Abreu. The Bulls can only beat the Celtics and the Bucks, but they lose to everybody else. And the Bears are just our defense is a disgrace.
Well, on a little bit of a fun note, and to cap it off, you want to play a little factor cap and then
let's get into it. Yes, sir.
All right. So after an embarrassing loss to the Jets without Justin Fields, it was apparent that Trevor Siemian couldn't do much through the air either, finishing under 200 yards. So factor cap, this game proved that the passing game is not Justin Fields' fault.
I will say that's a fact. I think there's things obviously Justin can improve on and be better to make the passing game better, but I just don't think it's just him. They can't pass block, receivers can't get open, and then a combination of those things are in the quarterback's head to where like he's making bad reads and holding on to it for too long because he's afraid these guys can't get open, and he's afraid that he's waiting for these guys to win on their breaks instead of throwing it on their breaks because he's afraid they're not going to get open. And
I'm going to say fact as well. But I also will say that Trevor Siemian made 2 throws in that game that Justin Fields doesn't make.
The one to Claypool, right?
The one to Claypool and the one to Byron Pringle in the end zone for the touchdown.
Yes, I do agree that
pass, Byron Pringle, Justin Fields does not make that throw.
That's what I was saying earlier, where I think Getsy needs to say, I'm calling these fucking plays, throw the fucking ball, Justin.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, throw the fucking ball to Claypool. If there's not double coverage, throw the fucking ball. If they pick it off, it's Claypool's fault because he didn't fucking stop them. Like,
yep,
I agree with that. I 100% agree because that left out to me. As soon as he threw that ball, I was like, Justin Fields, never, because he just 1, 2, 3 planted his back foot, threw it. It's like, you need to be doing that. Like, but Justin Fields only does that on 3rd and 5 for some reason.
Yeah, I know.
That's like a college bad habit. Like on 3rd and short is the only time he ever fucking throws the bomb is when and there's somebody wide open on a slant, but he still just
especially in the unders. Oh, yes. Absolutely. All right, number 2, the injury bug struck hard Sunday as Darnell Mooney went down and is out for the season. Then news later in the week that Eddie Jackson suffered a devastating Les Frank injury that could have him sidelined for over a calendar year. So factor cap, Eddie Jackson has played his last game as a Chicago Bear.
Like we said earlier, if your assessment on the Les Frank is 10 months is true, then I agree. Fact, we won't see the Eddie Jackson play a game in a Bears jersey again, and possibly in an NFL jersey again. Now looking back, I really wish we would have signed John Abraham when he was on the waiver wire before the Packers got him.
They just cut him.
They cut him? Oh, maybe we picked up some Colbert.
Yeah.
So maybe
I think he's a former Raider too, isn't he?
Maybe.
I think
he was a Charger for sure.
Was he? Oh,
okay. What do you think?
I know he played out in California somewhere. But if this helps, cutting him after the June 1st deadline will save the Bears another $13 million in cap space. It only carries a dead cap hit of like $3.5-4 million for next year.
I think he'll be done for sure.
I don't think he plays another Bear down for the Bears. Number 3, Mike White threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Bears on Sunday, and his game has made it multiple weeks in a row now where a mediocre quarterback has torched the Bears defense. So factor cap, the Bears D will allow 300-plus yards and 2 touchdowns every game the rest of the season.
Every game, I will say cap because I don't think the Eagles will throw for 300 passing yards. But I think they're going to shit on us in every form or fashion of the game. I just don't think they'll have 300 passing yards. I don't know if the Packers will either. I think their wide receivers are kind of bummy. Like Christian Watson's their best guy. But I do think we're going to lose every game moving forward. I just don't think – I think the Packers suck too. And it feels really good to say that.
I'm going to say fact on this, and here's my rationale. They can't stop a nosebleed.
Yeah, I know. I agree. 100% agree on that.
And Jalen Hurts has already proved that he can throw for over 300 yards against bad defenses. Doesn't matter who's playing for Green Bay this weekend coming up. Christian Watson can outrun anybody on our defense. I think he gets over the top. I think you see a couple of 40-yard touchdown passes to Christian Watson this week. Allen Lazard also. I mean, he's okay. He's more of a possession guy. I don't know. Is Romeo Doubs out for the season, or is he coming back this week?
I don't know when he's coming back. I know he's hurt. I don't really keep up with the Packers injury report.
But I really think it's a possibility. Then you got Josh Allen coming in. Josh Allen's going to just tear us up. And then Jared Goff can throw for over 300 yards. He may throw 2 interceptions.
The 2 I picked out were the Eagles. I think they just run a lot. I don't think, like I said, and I think the Packers run a lot. And again, I think it's going to be Jordan Love. So I think Aaron Rodgers was posturing, and I think the Packers are one of the most one of the safer teams where they don't put guys out there when they're hurt.
All right, number 4, with Darnell Mooney being out for the season, plus the injury to ESB, the already short, talented wide receiver room has gotten even thinner. So factor cap, Chase Claypool and Velus Jones need to use this opportunity to prove that Ryan Poles made the right decision in getting them.
That is big facts. And again, it goes back to what I've been hounding all day. They're not going to be able to do that if Justin Fields doesn't play. Simeon gave him a chance to at least Claypool to show that he's just going to be hard. You can't really guard him one-on-one out there. I mean, you can. He's not like some super athlete. It's just going to cause pass interferences, give guys fits where they're just going to be afraid, to know that, if we come out in single coverage press, that Claypool's running a bomb.
What bothers me about Claypool is that he body catches. He chest catches everything. He doesn't use his hands. He's got to start using his hands to catch the football. That's the only thing now that I've seen so far on Chase Claypool that I can't, I just can't get my head around. You know, we're taught even though we're not wide receivers, we never were wide receivers. We always knew catch the football with your hand, make the make the diamond.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do that. He doesn't catch the ball with his hands. He catches it with his body every single time. And it's like, bro, you can't do that. If you're going over the middle, you got Justin Fields zipping that ball. You're gonna let it. It's gonna pop right off your chest. It's gonna go in the air. It's gonna be a fucking interception. Like you can't be that fucking stupid. You catch the ball with your hands.
Maybe his boy Komet will help him out.
You would certainly think so. But yeah, that's big facts. Chase Claypool and Velus Jones need to use this opportunity pretty much to get on the football field, make some plays, and show that they can be a part
of. They
don't
want to get cut. Yeah, I mean, Velus Jones is going to get cut if he doesn't.
Oh, absolutely.
If he doesn't show something, he's getting cut.
Oh, absolutely. All right, last one. It's a short one. With lack of production throughout the year from the wide receiver position, it has become clear that getting a wide receiver one in the offseason should be the Bears' number one priority. Factor Cap.
I would say Cap. I think our number one priority should be getting a pass rusher. I do think getting a wide receiver is a priority, but I do think Justin has showed if you can get a number two or two more number two wide receivers and a flashy running back with some speed, that he probably can make something happen with that. We need a pass rusher. So I can't say that a number one wide receiver is more than that. We just need one or two guys on the D line more than I think we need a receiver at this point.
I'm going to say Cap as well. And I agree with you. Edge rusher is definitely something that we need, but in my opinion, and this just goes with protecting assets. I'm all about protecting assets. The number one priority in the offseason for me would be that offensive line, because we want to see Justin Fields throw the football. Can't do that if you're getting sacked.
Yeah, I definitely see that. I am looking at as winning games, and we can't even begin to think about winning games until we get some guys on the D line. It's not going to happen. So,
I know.
But like I said, Justin showed he could put up 30 with the bum. So if we can go out and get some servable Tyler Lockett or somebody like that, like a borderline number one wide receiver, I think we'd be fine. But yeah, O-line, D-line, I think that's where we definitely got to go.
It starts in the trenches. You and I both know that. We were there. Offensive and defensive line, two most important positions in all of football.
Exactly. I don't know how the Bears continue to fuck it up or not hire the right people to honestly, to me, it's got to be your coaching, because these guys are all big and strong. Like, some are better than the others and some are more gifted than the others, but it's what I know. It's just like those five guys working together, and that's coaching. Like, if you have five bums, but they're all big and strong and they work together, it could be a pretty good O-line. All right, let's close it out. What are your picks for this week?
All right. So I went 3-2 last week. Took a couple of bad losses. I was right on the team that would win, just wasn't right on the spread.
They didn't cover.
So this week, I have Tennessee on the road against San Francisco. They're getting 5.5 points. I have Cleveland going on the road against Houston, and Deshaun Watson's return to Houston. I have them covering the 7 points against Houston. Washington, I've got Washington going to the New York Giants, and I have them covering the 2.5 point spread at New York. I have Detroit covering the 1 point that they're getting against Jacksonville. And then I unfortunately have Green Bay covering the 4.5 against Chicago. I just think Green Bay is going to destroy us.
4 is that's nice.
Tennessee, I think Tennessee wins outright. I just have this feeling. Philly, I
felt that way last week against the Bengals and they lost though, but
I have a feeling. I don't know, man. I just feel Philly's maybe a little overrated right now. Tennessee plays really good teams really well. Just take a look at what they did against
they just
Kansas
run the ball.
Yeah, in away. Kansas City. Deshaun Watson. It could have been Jacoby Brissett, a quarterback for Cleveland this week, and I still would have picked Cleveland to cover the 7 points in Houston. Houston's horrible. They're
Deshaun Watson didn't. He played a preseason game, right? He didn't look that good. If I remember right.
I don't think so. I don't remember. But
either way, he played a preseason game. when you're suspended, you're not suspended in the preseason. So
they're gonna hand the ball off to Nick Chubb,
yeah,
25 times against that Houston defense.
Kareem Hunt will get 15.
He's probably gonna have 2+ touchdowns for Nick Chubb. So I'd look out for that if you're into daily fantasy. Washington 2.5 against New York. I think the Giants are on a free fall. I think they're starting to come down to earth a little bit. They're not as good as they've been playing, and I think it's really starting to show. And Washington's really coming on. They're going to be a dangerous team come playoff time because that defense plays really well, and that offense is just okay enough to worry some defenses out there.
Yeah.
Detroit, Trevor Lawrence played his best game as a pro last week. But Detroit,
good all month.
Detroit is just, like I said, they're on an upward trajectory for me. They had a tough loss on Thanksgiving, but I think they bounced back this week. And they continue their road win streak, and they beat Jacksonville on the road. And then, as I said, Green Bay over Chicago. I just see this as a blowout, especially if Justin Fields doesn't play. If Justin doesn't play, it's over.
It's free money. All right. I like those a lot. I didn't really dive into them. I know I like the over-under in the Tennessee-Philly game. I think it's 44.5 right now. I think it's Philly just plays really fast, so there's a lot of points scored in those games. But I haven't really dove into it. But it's a good episode. Pretty dull week for the Bears. No Justin Fields, so nothing to fangirl about. Maybe we'll just start getting our draft predictions in order, what we're going to trade this number 2 pick for. But it was fun. Everybody like, follow, comment, just share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I forgot to say it at the beginning, but I will say it now. Hopefully you stay to the end. And I will see you later, Tom.
Don't forget about the TikTok.
Oh, yeah, TikTok. I got it up here. Oh, yeah, you can't see it, obviously, but I can. But it's up in the top of the screen. TikTok, Angry Bears Fan. Just at Angry Bears Fan. Same with Instagram. Yeah, help us out. Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you. And I will see you later, Tom. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Later, man.